Oh Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, it is a new day, a bright Sunday. It is very bright indeed. The day that the Lord has made, that we should all be glad and rejoice in it. Today is another Sunday that comes with another episode of health issues. This afternoon, the topic is how to reverse a heart failure. We've been hearing of heart failure, but we don't know how to deal with it, only when we get to the hospital. But this afternoon's discussion will enlighten us, will give us the insight of it, so that when it's happening to someone, even not us, we have an idea of how we can even advise the person. Though we might not be in the medical profession, but when you have a little knowledge of something, it helps you to know how to create a conversation with the person, because even the person that is not well will need your support by calling them, by talking to them, advising them within your capacity, not necessarily you giving them the treatment. This afternoon, the whole topic is about to be opened by my own Brother George Ackon. Brother George, you're welcome once again to Richmond Media.
Thank you.
How are you
Thank you.
today?
By the grace of God and divine selection, I'm fine.
We
You
thank
can
God
see
for
how
that.
the weather is.
It's still cold. It's still cold,
Yeah,
bro.
it's
It's
full
still
of
cold.
blessings. So if you are
Uh-huh.
not careful, you oversleep, and that's
You
full of
enjoy the
blessings.
sun and tell us that we are having more blessings here. But in all things, we should give thanks to
Sure,
the Almighty God, because He knows
exactly.
what is good for each and every one of us. So this is our time to enjoy this weather, and we do appreciate when the time comes for us to enjoy the sun, we will have our share of it. To our
Yeah,
viewers and listeners, we say you're welcome once again to Richmond Media this afternoon. We really appreciate your time and your love for Richmond Media. Therefore, we encourage you to share this program, subscribe, and then click on the notification button so that whatever that we do you will be prompted on it. This afternoon, you and ourselves together during this program, we form one common group on this platform. So don't forget to share your comment, because the comment that you will be able to share will be an answer to someone's question, someone who hasn't got the courage to share. But I do encourage everyone to be courageous in your submission. No one is going to do anything to you. Any form, even if you want to send your comment in G, provided we understand you, we'll be able to interpret it to others who don't understand you. Brother George, the floor is yours. You'll be hearing of heart failure. We don't know what is it. So would you be able to tell us the physiological aspects of the heart? Thank you.
you are welcome. We want to welcome our viewers and our listeners for your precious time. We really appreciate that, because now we are living in a busy world. So if by this day someone is spending his time, his credits, all his resources just for this program, then we really appreciate that. Now, if my slides can be displayed, you realize that so far as we are human beings, and so far as we are able to talk, you can never neglect the power of the heart. The heart plays a major role in every individual. Therefore, so far as you are a human being and you are still in existence, means that you have heart. And because you have heart, it tells you that if you are not careful on approaches and our lifestyle and certain aspects how we conduct ourselves, we are also likely to develop a condition called heart failure. Therefore, everyone who is having heart, we need to take this into notice. God designed this heart as a muscular organ. When we said, or when we are saying physiology, means the normal functioning of the heart. The normal functioning of the heart. You realize that health is like money. We never have a true idea of its value until we lose it. Most individuals, because we wake up, our heart is beating, we are able to do our activities and others. You realize that we don't value it. But when we begin having the complaints, chest pains, fast breathing and co, then we now try to value it. By that time, we are losing the healthy nature of it. Therefore, it's important we value our health. The heart begins from the mother's womb. So when we want to talk about how the heart works well, we want to try to tell you that it's not like how we are sitting here or you are watching us. That's when your heart develops. No. The moment a male have intercourse with a female and the decision tested that positive pregnancy has occurred, at the end of the 3rd week, the development of the heart will be ascertained. Then the 4th week, the end of the 4th week, that's where when you go for checkup, the midwives or your gynecologist and your prescribers are able to attain or hear the beat of your heart or the baby's heart. Therefore, it tells us clearly that when we are talking about how to reverse the heart failure, it starts or begins from pregnancy. So our pregnant women, our dear ladies who are also planning to get pregnant, the moment you conceive, that's why reversing of heart failure comes to mind. But you don't wait so that you give birth to a child who might be suffering from heart conditions, then you begin suffering from it. So you can start reversing it within or during your pregnancy. That's what we have said. So this time you are active, exercising, then it helps you. Now, God has positioned the heart at the left side of the body. So as you are seeing the picture, that's how it does its work. But we have few individuals that instead of being positioned at the left side or tilted to the left side, is being tilted to the right side, and we call it dextrocardia. But there are few in the system. Instead of being at the left side, it's at the right side. So you know that whenever you are doing scan and they tell you your heart is at the right side, it comes to mind that yes, we have few individuals whose heart is at the right side. Now the heart continuously beats, and as it's beating, it beats to do what? To pump blood. And when you take the heart, God has designed it into 4 chambers. We have the upper 2 and the lower 2, that division. And at the same time, that division, you can have the right side, then you can have the left side. So how the heart is able to help at the physiology is that your heart will receive blood either from your lower part, your leg upwards, or from your upper part through the first chamber, the first upper right side of the heart. Then when the heart beats, it will send that blood into the lower right part of the heart. Then the heart will beat. Then it will now send into the lungs. And in that case, the lungs is able to mix oxygen rich into the blood that has come to that place. Now, after it has come to, this picture will explain it well. After it has come to the lungs, then the heart will beat again. Then the opening, which we call the valve, is like the window. It will open again. Then blood will move from the lungs to the left upper part. Then when the heart beats again, the opening, the window will open. Then blood will move from the left upper to the left lower. Then another beat will send the blood from the heart chamber, the left lower, to all parts of the body. So physiologically, normal functioning of the heart is to keep beating as a pump. Then when it beats, it sends blood through the heart to all parts of the body. So it tells you that whenever you are suffering from heart failure, it will mean that part of your body or part of your organs will not receive adequate blood whilst your heart is beating. So heart failure simply means that your body is not able to receive adequate amount of blood due to a condition, but not like your heart has stopped pumping. Your heart is pumping, but if it were to send one pure water or 500 mils of blood to your feet, because it is failing, it is pumping though, but less amount of blood is going, then we will tell you that you have heart failure. Then it will come with 8 signs and symptoms. So this is the physiology and how the condition will also occur. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother George, for giving us this insight into the physiological aspect of the heart. We're having a feedback from somewhere, so please. We have a few comments which I would like to read out. Brother George Osube Queen says, "Good afternoon. Nice topic today, and God bless you. God bless you too, brother, for your time and your love." He continues to say that election year could be busy, especially in Ghana. Name. He's referring to you, George. So, haha, he starts to laugh. Yeah, don't worry. We'll come up with more politics, but possibly later. It might not be every day, every week, but we'll try to feature some of them within our other program from the beginning. Brother George, now that we know that how the heart works, what are the facts about heart conditions? Thank you.
Thank you. To our lovely viewers and our lovely listeners, this is one key aspect that after diving into, Richmo Media noticed that we need to study something about heart failure. Now, these are some of the facts. You know, one is that heart failure is not a condition that we will say that is an infectious condition. Take it. It's a lifestyle condition, like we studied last week about diabetes, which means it's part of the non-communicable diseases. And by God's grace, if our viewers and our listeners are updated on certain knowledge and they add up to their own and reverse to do a proper lifestyle or maintain a proper lifestyle, we will not mention this condition on any of our viewers or our listeners. Disease of the heart or the blood vessels. Now, we term it as the coronary artery disease, like it's 8 branches, like the stroke and the other conditions, are now becoming a global public health issue. Why? Because non-communicable diseases are now at the rise. Therefore, it means that if you are not careful, we will continue to do some less good thing to the heart, but more of the bad things or harmful things to the heart, and we might fall victims. Another aspect is that globally, around 200 million people are living with heart conditions or heart diseases. Around 110 million men and 80 million women have heart diseases. And when we talk about heart failure, it's a condition that also pertaining to the heart. And it's killing millions of people. So it means that we don't want our viewers and our listeners to die of heart failure, whilst it's a lifestyle cheapest condition, and reversal of a bad lifestyle can help our viewers. So the higher it goes, the higher most people are also dying. In 2019, globally, it was reported that those living with the heart and circulatory diseases were as follows. About 290 million were women, which means 53% of our women, our lovely women, were being diagnosed or suffering from heart conditions, including the heart failure we are talking about. Then about 260 million were men. So if our men and our women begins to be diagnosed of this, and because of that they are not able to bring out good output, it will affect productivity. And if you are a breadwinner within a family and you are suffering from this kind of condition and you are about to lose your life, look around and see how many people will suffer in your absence. Therefore, it's quite important that we put this lesson into our higher priority. It is a common condition now. It's a common condition. About 5 million Americans live with heart failure. Then another research showed that approximately 550,000 new cases are diagnosed each year. It means as some people have entered 2024, we are about to diagnose new cases to add up to the already existing one. So we want to encourage our viewers and our listeners so that your name will not come among the new cases. And if your name is also part of the old cases, by God's grace, with reversal of lifestyle to a proper lifestyle, you will be able to delete your name from it. According to World Health Organization, it says that about 17.9 million people die every year of heart problems, and this condition is relating to heart problems. But it continued to say that but up to half of them could be saved if better prevention programs were in effect. So Richmond Media Health Issues have strategized this to fit into the World Health Organization arena, that if proper or better preventive programs were to be in effect, like when it comes to vaccine, immunization, how health workers go to house, how the campaigns are out there. If it comes to the non-communicable diseases like the hypertension, diabetes, and co, if we were supposed to update or come on the rise, on the mission, on the good news out there like vaccination, better preventive program, he said most of them could have been saved. So we love you, our viewers, and we love you, our listeners. We want you to be saved out of this condition. That's why it's a fact that we need to take this lesson serious. And when you take the heart failure, we have the types. We have note that we have the left side of the heart and the right side of the heart. So we have some individuals whose heart failure is not both left and right, but it's just really pertaining to only a part, which is left. If it's left, we will tell it left-sided heart failure. If it's at the right side, we will term it right-sided heart failure, which means that individual is suffering from heart failure, but it's pertaining to only a part of the heart. Then we have how the heart contracts. That's what we call the systolic, how it contracts to push blood. When it's affecting it, we will get it systolic dysfunction or heart failure that affects only how the heart beats or contract. Then if it's affecting the relaxation, the diastolic, then we will term it as dystolic heart failure or dystolic heart dysfunction. Then also some individuals will have just a sudden onset of it, then we will term it as acute. Then some individuals will be there then for a longer time, then we will term it to be chronic heart failure. So beloved, this is our fact, and this is the background of our presentation now, that World Health Organization is saying that those who died last year of heart failure, if like better programs like this were to be in effect, half of them could have been saved. Therefore, we encourage you that don't just listen, but subscribe, share, invite a friend so that we can save that individual. Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother, for that promotion. You know what? Uncle Peter Opoku from Amsterdam says, "Good evening to you all for your good work. God bless you, Pa." Thank you, Uncle Peter. Yeah, that's the Pa, for your love and your support all the time. May God richly bless you too, Pa, more than the Pa. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank our brother George for giving us this in-depth explanation and understanding of the facts about the heart conditions. Therefore, we will move straight to the causes of the heart failure. What exactly happens that you will be able to know that this is why the heart failure occurred in my life so that you'll be able to take precautions on that. Thank you, brother. The floor is yours.
Welcome to our lovely listeners and viewers once again. You know that nothing occurs just by chance. When you wake up and your house is full of flood, it tells you that either it rained the night or someone, like it occurred in Ghana, someone has opened a particular dam and it's just flooding your area. Same like your health. Nothing occurs by chance. Everything that gives you the effect of a problem means there's something causing it. But when it comes to the lifestyle condition, like when you are mentioning the non-communicable disease, like example, like the heart failure we are seeing, the infectious diseases, you can mention like the cause is this. But you know, with the lifestyle conditions, it comes with causes. Certain things, certain lifestyles, activities will prone or predispose our younger ones, our unborn child, our aged, our youth into heart conditions. So what are some of the things that if I continuously do and I'm still doing because I'm active, I need to be careful because least I might suffer this condition. Number one is what we call the congenital defect. Congenital defect means that a condition that a fetus or someone acquire from birth. That's why we are saying that for a child to be born, for a prescriber to tell that child that you have heart failure or hole in heart or heart enlargement, it tells me that most of them, the problem was coming from the parent or the mother. Most of them, due to certain lifestyle and some people also less knowledge on certain things, they continually do certain things that affected the development of an organs. Therefore, we have what we can get from birth. That's why I stress initially on our dear wives and our lovely women to take care of our unborn child for us. So husbands, you are not carrying, but when you impregnate someone, take note that it's a shared responsibility. Don't put all burdens on your wives to suffer for your child to get heart problems or congenital defects. So that's one cause. The husbands and our wives together, we can prevent this. Number two, it's obesity. Obesity. We've learned about obesity means that abnormal increase in fat. And when there is abnormal or excess fat in your system, then we talked about some individuals' obesity. We will term it as central. So like the man sitting here, you can see a central obesity because accumulation of the fat is at the center. See the belly and how even the trial has developed. It's like someone who is also going for ANC checkup, like a pregnant woman. Then it tells you that if I'm increasing or I have started developing excess fat, if I'm not careful, that lifestyle that is putting me to this increase or excess fat is the same thing that after your excess fat will lead to blockage of the blood vessels, then you might get heart failure or heart related condition. So we need to be mindful about our weight. Don't just neglect. Then inactivity or sedentary lifestyle. Currently, another issue of health concern, one is inactivity or sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary lifestyle is now a leading cause of most conditions. And no wonder when we are talking about heart failure, it again comes in. You see, some individuals, their table is close to their chair in their sitting room. Remote is just closer. They will not get up. Just eating, pressing their remote, sending people to go on errands. The moment they will get up is when they are going to urinate. That one, no one can do for them. Even if they like, they will let them bring pail. Then they urinate and send. So you know that now some people's, our work has made that inactive. And some individuals too, they have conditioned their mind to be inactive because of how they have been protected from certain conditions. So we need to be mindful about our weight.
Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, our brother will get back to
So
us. It's the
someone
net.
is his work. Someone is you. You the individual who is just leading to that. Therefore, we want to tell you that inactivity will predispose you to obesity. And this too is one of the leading cause of most of the chronic or non-communicable diseases. So we need to watch out. Number 3 is smoking. Smoking. If you are smoking cigarette, if you are inhaling smoke, you are not taking cigarette, but you are inhaling smoke, what happens is that it will affect the quality of your blood. When we were talking about the physiology of the heart, as it pumps to send blood to all parts of the body, it doesn't just pick the blood, send it straight, but it needs to pass through some channels. Then sieving will occur so that the blood that will leave the heart to your eye, to your nose, to your kidney and others will become oxygenated. But if I'm someone who takes or who smoke or inhale smoke, it will affect the oxygen level in my blood, then put pressure on the heart, and the heart will begin to be pumping faster because it's also feeding on the quality blood. Your brain also love oxygenated blood, and it will not be getting it, so it will also send a message to your heart that I need more blood, oxygen. So the heart begins to be pumping faster and in a quicker way, and over time that palpitation you begin to be experiencing will lead to heart failure. So individuals, primary smokers, secondary smokers, and also we those who inhale smoke in any other form, we need to be mindful that this lifestyle, when prolonged, can affect our heart and we can get heart condition. But the additional one to those who smoke cigarette is that the nicotine in the cigarette will also block or harden your blood vessels, thereby impairing the relaxation and the elasticity of the heart, affecting the flow pump of blood to all parts of the body. Another aspect is that some conditions can also predispose an individual to heart failure. For example, if someone is suffering from high blood pressure and you are not taking good care of the options and the precautions your care provider is giving you, its complication, one will be heart failure. So you treat your underlying condition first so that you not get the failure in addition. Then we have what we call the coronary heart diseases, which means a diseases that attack the heart. You know, some individuals, there will be infection to the heart or the protection of the heart, thereby affecting how the heart muscles need to contract and relax. And when it's being affected, when the muscles that is protecting it is also being affected, then at long last it can lead you to heart failure. We need to also be mindful of that as well. Then we talked about valves. Valves means the opening. When the heart beat, boom, at the right side, before it comes from the right upper part to the right lower part, another beat, bum. That pump or the pump that you will hear, there's a window that will open. That's what we call the valve. So when individuals have a problem that pertains to the valve or the window, when the heartbeat bum or pump, window is closing, so more fluid will retain at the upper part, and over time it means there's something wrong with the window. You need to call a mechanic to come and refix it. So that damage to the valve, the heart valve, the window, can also let more fluid or more blood be at that affected part, and over time it will continue to be beating faster. Then you have what we call heart failure. So we don't just give any narrow way a chance of this. So beloved, when we talk about the causes, some people are abusing drugs, alcoholics, then those also abusing the hard drugs. You need to refrain from it so that it will not affect the overall structure of the heart. It's very important. Other conditions, if you are suffering from kidney diseases, you know the kidney regulates the pressure, the heart. That's why when someone is having hypertension and we gives you a drug, it helps the kidney to bring fluid that is leading to the heart congestion out in the form of urine. So if your kidney is also failing, or a problem relating to your kidney can also affect your heart, and you can get heart failure. Some individuals with diabetes, the condition alone plus some of its medication side effects can also predispose you to the second brother, twin brother, hypertension, and the two can give you the grandmother, that is heart failure, or the nickname stroke. So you need to be mindful. And we have some individuals who are having low blood. When they go to hospital, you've been diagnosed anemia, but they are not taking care of it. Anemia. Beloved, you need to be careful with it and start to treat it at once, because low blood level or low hemoglobin level prolonged means that it's going to put the heart into a danger, and the heart will need to work extra. And over time, it's like you walking and your fuel is just small, and you want to go a long journey and you want to go in speed. You realize that it will just leave you along the way. So those suffering from low hemoglobin level or anemia, please treat the underlying cause. Then lung condition. If you're having a problem relating to your lungs, you need to take care of it, because the heart can perform its perfect work when the lungs is also of a good use. And when we are able to do all these things and note all these things, then you can know that what is causing my heart failure. Is it all these things or some of them? Then when we try to dive into how to reverse it, you know that the causes has been removed and you get a good health. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother George, for your submission. Now that we know the causes, it will be good idea for us to get into the signs and symptoms, so that when you feel something a certain way, then you know that these signs and symptoms that I am experiencing is leading to heart failure. So, Brother George, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Before you ascertain your signs and symptoms, because we want to know that, yes, am I at risk of heart disease, heart failure, or this thing I'm passing through, is it heart failure? One is that laboratory investigations can assist you. You can just visit a lab center, tell them that you want to check your heart, so they can do some scan to know the structure of the heart. You can do x-ray of the heart to just know the proper positioning of the heart, or you can do some investigations like the blood test, so that you know either you are having low blood or high blood. Then you can do some lipid blood sample that they will take, lipid profile, to know either there's fatty cells or there's fat accumulation within your blood. After knowing all these things, gives you a clear mind. Another thing that you will be experiencing is fast breathing. Not that you just finished running and you are you are breathing fast, then you said, hey, I'm developing heart failure. No, not that one. But this case, after little or few exertion activity, you begin to be panting, meaning that there's something wrong that you need to prove further. Then another thing is that some individuals, when you visit the facility and they are checking how the heart beats, we will be hearing some sounds which is not usual. It tells you that there's a problem with the heart. Another aspect is that because there can be fluid accumulation within your lungs area, we can be hearing some sounds when we put our stethoscope. That's what we put in our ear, like earpiece. Then we use on your lungs area or your heart area. We'll be hearing some basal crepitation. That's abnormal crackle sound that will be heard when we want to investigate and we check at the base of the lungs. That also gives you another clue. Then individuals suffering from heart failure are mostly able to have difficulty in breathing, especially in the night. So we have some individuals in the night when they sleep, that's why they experience that difficulty in breathing. So we need to also be very mindful. To a point, Some individuals, it will be like they are dying. So amidst their sleep, then they will shout and wake up at once. If you are sleeping beside them, then you begins to shiver because you don't know what happened. No, don't take it as a fun. Observe that individual, and if that keeps occurring, prove further to ascertain what might be the cause of your relatives' complaints. Then we have individual with heart failure. They mostly have what we call autopnea. That is difficulty in breathing when they lie flat. So as we all sleep, some individuals, when they lie flat, then they begins to be having difficulty in breathing, because in heart failure, because there's a problem with pumping blood, there is fluid accumulation within that area. So as they lie flat, it's like the heart and the lungs are being drawn, then difficulty in breathing. But it's mostly, the key thing is that when they lie flat, it's one of the key things that is most present in those leading to heart failure. Then we have what we call the easy fatigability, which is easy tiredness, because you need oxygen, more oxygen rich in your blood, so that as you are doing your activity, you will not become easily tired. But if there is less oxygen in your blood or less amount of blood in your system, just few work or few activity, then you are having difficulty or very tired. You feel very tired. So it's also another thing that you need to note. Then some individuals, their breathing will be obvious to the point that if you are close to them, you'll be hearing sound like whistle sound, and it mimic those with asthma. So if you are not careful, you'll be hearing their breathing as we can breathe without the next person hearing. If I'm suffering from that and I'm sitting by Auntie Bimah, you realize that she will be hearing my sound as in whistling, whee, whee, like that. It means that there's a problem, congestion somewhere, and we need to ascertain the cause. Then we have what we call dizziness. You know, when brain quality blood gets into the brain, it prevents you from dizziness and you are able to ascertain a correct posture. But in this case, because of the failure, some organs of the body, including your brain, is not getting quality blood. And when there's less supply, it begins to give you some symptoms. And one of it is what we call the dizziness. Then you can have what we call the pedal edema. Some individuals, when they sit for a few times, you realize that they are developing swelling of the feet. And the pit here means that some people, it has developed that swelling when you use your finger and press on it. It goes deeper. Those individuals, it will go deeper. And when it goes deeper, it will be hardly to come out by itself at just that moment. And that's what we call the pitting edema, which means when you press on that area, it forms like a pit and it don't quickly come out. Another aspect is that as their foot or their legs are swollen, their abdomen too begins to swell. You see that swelling of their abdomen, and that's what we call the ascites, accumulation of the fluid in their abdominal cavity. So you can see one individual where he's a male, but the abdomen is protruding like a pregnant woman. At the same time, their feet or their leg is also swollen. And if you are not careful and you are living elsewhere, they will term it like you have stepped on juju and you are developing those signs. Not all means is juju. Some is heart failure. And one of its signs is that your feet will be swollen, whilst your abdomen also will swell because of the accumulation of fluid. And when this begins to occur, then your liver also begins to become big. That's why their abdomens are big, and increased tension inside will put pressure on the liver. Then it becomes also big. Some individuals, we have what we call the raised jugular veins. You see your neck, around your neck here, there are some veins there. And when you have heart failure or you are developing heart failure, when the heart is pumping, you will see them that is visible. That veins there is obvious, visible, that you can see that it's just pumping. That's what we call raised or increased jugular venous pressure. That's also another key. Then urination. Most people, they will be urinating not like diabetes, but it mostly comes in the ninth and others. Mind you, we've talked about kidney issues can result in heart failure, and heart failure majority is a fluid that is accumulating in the lung space or in the heart space, and it's causing this. And when you are relaxing because of the failure, then that's where you'll be urinating. So these are some of the signs we need to be watching out. And if you want to confirm if the signs I'm experiencing is really pertaining to heart failure, then prove further to do further investigations and let qualified person reviews it, and you can be able to ascertain that, hey, I'm about to develop heart failure. Early detection, quick outcome. But you will not wait, juju, you'll be sending from this. Then by the time you realize it's not juju, it has time to be a complication. So that this is how I will just position the signs and symptoms for us to check out. Check for yourself, check your husband, check for your worker, and check for everyone. Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you so much. In every condition or a disease, once there is a cause, definitely there is a sign and symptoms. And if there is a sign and symptoms, then we cannot do away with the complications of such condition. Therefore, brother, would you be able to give us the complications of heart failure? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. You see, for the heart failure too, we have stages. We have the, according to the American Heart Association or American Cardiology College, they base on the progression. We have stage 1 or stage A, B, C, D. In a summary, note that, you see, we have heard some news that some individuals were jogging. Then after their exercise, they collapsed and died on the spot. So when it comes to the prevention or the reversion, I'll explain that details. Some individuals, based on how you have developed, will determine what kind of exercise or activity to do. So don't follow whilst others are running and you have been diagnosed of heart failure, you begin to follow them, you die in the middle. So note the stages as we note. But if you fail, this is how it occurs. We are talking about heart, the blood vessels. Then the blood vessels need to be patent for blood to flow. Now, looking at this picture, because of some lifestyle activity, the patency of the blood vessels has been impaired. Then there is fat, that is the yellowish color you are seeing, blocking the blood vessels. And this did not occur just one day. It's your lifestyle that was pushing it gradually, and over time it blocked entirely. And because the heart beats and other part of the body is not getting quality blood, it means it has reached the intense. Now this blockage or narrowed way, there will be little amount of blood that will be able to flow through that small hole there, while the heart is at 8 point, thinking that maybe he is not doing its work, so he'll be pumping faster. So the complication is that, 1, there have been a narrowed blood vessels because of our lifestyle. 2, the cholesterol has blocked to the point that the remaining blood that was not able to pass through that small hole will also form clots. So one individual will have clots and will have blood cholesterol, and another one hardening or narrowed of the blood vessel. Now see the complication. When this clot is formed, here is obvious one, blood clot. Fat has also occurred, narrowed blood vessel, you get stroke as a complication. You get stroke. And with stroke, we are saying that we have two cardinal types of stroke. We have what we call the ischemic stroke. With this ischemic stroke, you see some of the yellow part you are seeing on the screen, which is the fat, get torn and blocked a blood vessel that supplies the brain. Due to that, this fat you are seeing will not allow more blood to pass through that small hole into your brain. Therefore, part of the brain that will not get that blood will begin to die off. And when it dies off because of this blockage of the fat, or if it's the clot, some people it will be the clot that has blocked the narrow way, we'll term it as ischemic stroke. So stroke that an individual has occurred because of a blockage of blood vessels. And some individuals too, we have what we call the hemorrhagic stroke. The cholesterol or something has blocked the blood vessels, but with pressure, the blood was not able to pass through the tiny vessels into the part of the brain, so it will burst or it will rupture. And instead of the blood going, it will be seeping around the brain. And the part that was waiting for blood to reach there will not get. And we call it hemorrhagic stroke, which means bleeding type of stroke. So stroke is a complication that we need to be mindful of it. Another aspect is that you can get kidney failure. Kidney failure. Because you'll be giving a lot of work to your kidney to be excreting the excess fluid that is congesting within your heart and the lungs, and it will also get tired. Then you have kidney failure. Another sister is lung condition. Lung condition. So the lungs will also be affected. And when your lungs begins to be affected, you can get the collapse of the lungs as well. And that's what we call the atelectasis. So lung being affected, the brain being affected, the kidney being affected, the liver, as part of serving its purpose, will also be affected. Then you see most of the internal organs are affecting because they all need blood. Every part of the body that needs blood will be affected too. Every part of the body that has vessel will be affected. So from your eye to your reproductive organ, your digestive organ, then your skin itself, every part will be affected. So that is the complicated form. That explains why the World Health Organization said that if, assuming my own is blocking of cholesterol or clots, and I have this idea and I reverse my lifestyle, I will not be building up more cholesterol or more fat within my blood. And by reversing, I will not die today because of heart failure, but I can be postponed. My death can be postponed. Everyone will die, but it's difficult to live longer with diseases. That's why we want to encourage our dear viewers that we are not panicking you. Yes, even if you have been diagnosed of heart failure, don't be panicked, because God has a very fantastic message for you. Never be discouraged because you've been diagnosed of heart failure. Doesn't mean you get complication. Yes, take it like that. It can be reversed. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother George, for giving us this in-depth understanding and knowledge of the complications of heart failure. Our brother Aduchum Gideon Owusu Aduchum says, God bless you all for this extraordinary health talk. Thank you so much, brother, for joining us this afternoon. God bless you too as you continue to spend time, save time, and then to contribute to the progress of this program at Richmond Media. Brother George, now that we have complications, that tells us that indeed there is a way that we can prevent ourselves from getting this condition called heart failure. At this point, would you be able to give us the preventive measures of heart failure? Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you. We love you, our viewers and our listeners. As we were saying this, you realize that someone is there, then he's just beginning to panic. Yeah. So it means that my brain is going to rupture or burst, then blood is going to, no. Blood is not going to seep into anywhere. There is a way out. Note that we are saying heart failure is a lifestyle condition. Therefore, lifestyle modification will be 80% of your treatment. Lifestyle modification is 80% of your treatment. Now, how do we go about it? One, never be discouraged if you have been diagnosed of a huge or this condition. It's higher out there, but with God, it's possible that you are able to reverse it. But note also that when it comes to a disease reversal, you also have what we call a role to play. God says that I want to heal you, but your role is also to do a part that will contribute to what? The healing. Now, if you're having high blood pressure, one preventive measure is that make sure you treat your underlying condition. The advices your nutritionists are giving you, your advices your dietitians are giving you, your advices your prescribers or your care providers are giving you, please stick to it. Stick to it. Whatever they are telling you to be changing, please be changing so that your high blood pressure can be controlled. And when it's being controlled, you are at a greater chances escaping heart failure. So it's very important. Those who don't know their status, either they have high blood pressure or low blood pressure, I want to advise and encourage you that go to any health facility, go to where you think they are checking pressure, check to know your stand. So regular checking. Don't fall sick before you go to do some checkups. At times you'll be there. Gather your family. Just go and do some petty checkups. Don't think that as you know your status, it will put panic in you. That is a negative mentality. But note your status to develop a habit of changing or adapting a lifestyle modification. That should be your objective, but not to cause panic. So that one is one. Number two, make sure you do exercise. Exercise. Before you exercise, consult your prescriber or your care provider. Then he will tell you, you cannot run, but you can sit and be raising your hand. You can sit and be raising your leg. You can sit and just be stretching. That is your exercise. Agreed. Because he or she has studied you and your condition from day one and knows the risk involved. So as we are mentioning of exercise, don't be like, hey, everyone is going to gym, so you are going to gym. You raise the heavy metal, then it will hit on you. That's all. So plan your exercise with whoever is taking care of you. That's another aspect to reverse heart failure. Another aspect is weight control. For you to note your weight and control, be mindful of it. If you are gaining, just plan on the weight control measures. Go to our previous videos, look at the obesity, how to reverse obesity, and let's be able to control our weight. Smoking cessation, either smoking cigarette, any form you are inhaling smoke, let's make sure we adapt that lifestyle strategy, and that will also help us. Very important that we need to also note that. So obesity and inactivity lifestyle, we need to refrain from it. And even if you are office worker, you need to develop a lifestyle habit. After an hour, get up, send something somewhere. After an hour, if you are the secretary, type in. You can stand and type small. Then you sit. That is a form of activity. It's also something that can also help us a lot. Then aside all these things, you need to, even, you see, the cigarette even there, it has been inscribed on it that stopping smoking reduces the risk of fatal heart and lung diseases. But individuals will just hold this, reading their death warrant, and still smoke. Let's be mindful of reading. It's not there just for anything, but it's there to give us important things. Then we need to now adapt our lifestyle. Go more on the plant-based source and refrain from the animal product. Go more on the whole foods and refrain from the processed foods. Go more on foods from the soil than food that has been processed. Then advisably, wherever you are living, at your own small garden, you have some individuals where they are living, not compared to other one. They have some small land, like just 10 steps. They can do something. You can put some vegetable in a container, even if you don't have land. In a container, you can just put some vegetable in it, and as it's growing, it becomes your source of food, and or your source of medicine. So your plant is becoming your medicine. But some individuals where they are living tells you that extremely they can also do that one. You need to be adapting some activities that you can. Those in Ghana, you have a lot of lands around. Those in other countries, you know where you are and how your place is being situated. I want to encourage gardening. I'm encouraging gardening. Begins to be doing some small garden at your corner, so that any leaf, any plant source that comes from there, you know its right source and use it actively. Then also, let's begin. So you see, tomatoes, as we have studied the doctrine of signature, tomatoes can help you. Let's be eating with its fiber. Soak it in salt and charcoal solution before you use it in preparing everything that you want to do. Then we have what we call a beetroot. It's a vegetable. And this one also, if you want to take it as a salad, I would advise that now you steam it small, then you use it as a salad or a juice, because it's having high in nitrate, able to also help your blood vessels. Begin to be eating a lot of citrus fruits. A lot of citrus, like the oranges, like the pineapple, like the lemon, like the limes. Be adding some to your water so that you are being creative in your water intake, and it will help you a lot in your proper health. Then we want essential fatty food. Be eating variety of the nuts, like the coconut, groundnut, almond nut, the palm fruit, the palm nut. Be eating, to be chewing some, and the oil or the fatty or the fat within will help your blood vessels with its elasticity. So I will encourage that you chew the nuts in variety and the seeds in variety. Then you see one whole thing to, like the oats. Oats can also prevent you from the blood vessels related issues. And when it's being narrowed, or it's being clear, patent, it will advise you and protect your heart. Let's be taking variety of seeds. Common ones you will not buy. When avocado is in system, be taking avocado, eat its seed, or store its seeds, powder its seeds down. We have the flax seed, the chia seed. Some seeds, they are expensive out there. But if you don't have the money, you have the orange seed, you have the pawpaw seed, you have moringa seed, then you have watermelon seed. Those ones you not buy expensively. You just buy one, get one free. You get your pawpaw, you get the seed free. You get your watermelon, you get the seed free. You get the orange, you get the seeds free. You get your avocado, you get the seeds free. Let's be eating the variety of them. But when we get small money, then we can buy the chia seed and the flax seed as well. Then let's resist from the fatty food. Either fatty meals or oily foods. Let begins to be reducing. Some individuals, they begins to develop heart palpitation when they continuously eat oily foods or fried foods. It tells you that even the pyramid of food preparation, fat and oil is just small quantity. So note the oils you are taking and note the fatty you are taking. No wonder the Bible said that do not eat fat nor blood. So let's be mindful with what we are taking. Then variety of the grains, varieties of the cereals, not in its processed form, but in its whole form. Then variety of the fruits, variety of the vegetables, legumes like the beans and its food. You know something? When you take the nuts and seed and the beans, for example, studies have shown that it has what we call the L-arginine. And this L-arginine is like nitric oxide. And nitric oxide relaxes blood vessels. So just a common notion to our viewers. If you are eating gari and beans or beans and rice, the beans, when it's well cooked, it's containing something in it that relaxes your blood vessels. And if it relaxes your blood vessels, it helps to dilate it, thereby lowering your blood pressure. So just beans alone can serve as a good medicine for you. No wonder the father of medicine said that let your food be your medicine, else you will now take your medicine as food. So beloved, we don't want to just bombard, but we want to just be highlighting you. Sunlight, exposure to the sunlight also has what we call the nitric oxide that beans is also having, and it will just help your blood vessels, narrow your BP or lower your BP for you. So use plant food as the foundation of your meals. Take note and eat them in variety, especially whole grains, the fruits, the vegetables. Let's be eating them in variety. in a healthy eating habit and make half of your plate of fruit, make half of your plate fruit and vegetables. So by so doing, I want to tell you that you are able to reverse this heart failure. As you are doing, you are checking your pressure, you are visiting, going on your review dates. Then your prescribers will be giving you updates. So even if you are on medication, they begin to be reducing because you have adapted a new lifestyle. So eat your food as your medicines. Otherwise, beloved, I bet you have to eat your medicine as food. And this is where we don't want you to reach. May the good Lord help you and help me, because the two of us, plus you, the viewer, and the listeners, the three of us, we all have hearts. So if you are not careful and we are supposed to get a condition pertaining to the heart, we can fall victims. But if you are able to update our knowledge on heart failure, we will not be panicked, but rather we will have a positive mind and relax and know that as I'm relaxing, then it also brings us that, then don't miss the March musical concert that Richmond Media will be conducting or having in Ghana. So as you are relaxing, then you are listening to the music. You are listening to the music, and it will help you relax and reverse your heart failure to the 90th degree. May the good Lord help us all. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, brother. He says, eat your food as your medicine, not your medicine as food. At least, if we didn't hear anything, we have this to take home. We have our sister Gifty Osemen and Anna Phoebe says, very good health advice. Thank you so much, sister, for your support and your love for Richmond Media. Brother George, without you, it is impossible for this program to have come on. Therefore, we say, may the good Lord continue to bless you as you continue to do his work through a health mission. Everyone who made it possible to join us this afternoon, we say, may the good Lord continue to bless you and your family and whoever is listening to us. God bless us all as we continue to join this program now and every Sunday time from same time health issues at 3 p.m. every Sunday. Please don't forget to keep the time up and join us. May the good Lord bless us. My name is Hanna Bimah. And the same time again, health issue, we shall meet again. God bless us.
Cristo Boja, Kishino Ajimi, Semi Jamici, você levou no sul, na moja refri na pom, sino a, me fade ye tremenia minha mão mai comri shisheu echikwan semitiasia mitimau semi wumpami umau kosi sewu bepuewa Hinimu, Visa